So we're going to talk about one of my favorite people in the sports world, Mr. Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowl rings. So what's interesting is he and his team, I should say, they just beat the New York Jets. And what was interesting is the Jets have a rookie quarterback, and the rookie quarterback, Zach Wilson, what was he, 22?
23.
23, and Tom Brady's 44, so he's literally about double this guy's age. And most NFL careers, I think, are
You're right,
under
22.
like 5 years. And you look at Tom Brady, who he's now 44 years old, and he's playing at an incredibly high level. And you say, why is that? And so Tom's very strict about his diet. He has a similar diet to mine, which is kind of like an alkaline-based diet, which is lots of plants and vegetables and green things and healthy proteins like fish and grass-fed beef and that kind of thing. If you watch the documentary Tom versus Time, he kind of goes a little bit into his regimen, and one of the things I saw in his kitchen was a water ionizer, which makes alkaline water. And then when you look at what he does with Pliability and his trainer, I think his name is Roberto something. So a lot of when you look at what he does is pliability, in other words, being flexible. And what I've learned through like network care is like we see a lot in professional sports, especially the NFL, is when you have a guy that's constantly re-injuring the same leg. Like one year they break their right ankle. The next year they might have a tear in their right quadricep. And if, like, with what I love about network care is that, and obviously Chunky, you've experienced it, is that you get work done and it really helps you drop the tension in your nervous system. So it makes you looser and it makes you more flexible. And a lot of the stuff that Tom Brady does with pliability is making your muscles and your body flexible. So when you get hit from weird angles or rolled up on, you can see he just kind of folds over like a little Gumby man. And versus somebody that does it and their muscles are all locked up and they get hit from a weird angle, there's no flexibility, there's no pliability in the system. And so something breaks or it tears. Whereas in his case, he gets hit and he's able to easily just kind of fold up like an accordion and protect himself. Other than his knee injury, which I think it was right after the 2007 season, so I guess it was the beginning of the 2007-2008 season, he had his knee rolled up or hit, and so he was out for most of the year. And you wonder, like, well, how does he get there? So what's interesting, and I've learned this from studying Dr. Young's work, where he talks about our cells need 3 things to thrive and survive. The cells need oxygen, they need the proper nutrients, and the ability to eliminate waste. And the problem that most people have, and what's interesting when you study like with the Edward Casey readings, he said you are what you don't get rid of. And so what happens over time is through the preservatives and the mostly acid-forming foods that us in the West tend to eat, is that we're constantly ingesting things that our body can't deal with, and so it has to park it in the tissues. And so as we age, our body fills up with these different things that basically cause us to rot from the inside out. In other words, the bacteria that break our bodies down when we die because of the foods, it's like if you look at the inner terrain, when you do like dark field microscopy and you look at the live living blood, what you see is that the red blood cells will be ripped open, or they'll have free radical damage, and so they kind of look like a starburst. They'll be malformed versus somebody that's eating very healthfully. And so the inner fluids of our body literally become like a stagnant pond of water. And so this creates the conditions where bacteria, yeast, candida, especially if we're eating lots of carbs and sugars, our body, you're giving it the food that it needs to breed like crazy. And acid tends to go to the weakest part of the body. And so for most guys in the NFL, they get sore, their joints get sore. Like, I know I've had periods where I wasn't eating very healthy. I remember it was one time I was living down in South Beach. for I think it was about 6 weeks straight. I literally had friends, family, people staying with me every day for 6 weeks. And I think I was either at the beach, eating junk food, or drinking, or screwing around, not exercising very much. And my joints started hurting. My fingers started hurting, and some of them kind of swelled a little bit. I got, obviously, once that summer was over and everybody went back, I got real strict with my diet again, got real strict with the green juices and the smoothies, and it's like within a matter of days, all that pain went away, the swelling went away, the inflammation went away, and I felt a lot better. I mean, you look at like Tom Brady, the way he lives and all the things he does with his diet, he's able to remove a lot of the toxins that most of the other guys in the NFL are collecting in their bodies, and it's just, you fill up with these things and it makes it hard to move. It makes your joints hurt, it makes your fingers hurt, and it gives you brain fog. And so he just takes exceptional care of his body. He's willing to do things that nobody else is willing to do in the NFL, even though he's willing to share this stuff and teach it to anybody that will listen, but very few of them actually do. And I see the same thing in my own work, even though I have hundreds of millions of video views at this point in my career. It's like a small fraction of a percent will actually go out and buy a juicer or do the green juice, exercise consistently so they can continually flush this stuff out of their body so they can be healthy. Yeah, like even like Chunky or Gracie for that matter, when you guys were really strict with a 30-day challenge, you guys all benefited from it. But did you stick with it?
Yeah.
No. Nobody stuck with it. They're like, this really works. But people just won't do it. And so it's like a small, like I said, a small fraction of a percent will actually do this. All you got to do is look. Anytime I talk about health, those videos just get a small fraction of views compared to anything else, and most people, they just don't care. They put their bodies last. They're content to pop a pill or give me the cortisol injection, whatever it happens to be. And so a big part of why he's been able to play at this high level is because he loves football so much, but he takes just impeccable care of his body on a level that nobody else is willing to do.
Well, I do agree. When you start in a healthy diet, you tend to feel a little more better. And from my experience, I started to work out last year. But before working out, I detoxed. I detoxed from, I think it was March until May. And that detox was cucumber, lime, pineapple, and ginger. I blend them. I drank it every day, sometimes twice a day. And they said it was dangerous because you lose a lot of weight. I wanted to lose weight and then from there gain muscle. So
yeah, cucumber is very alkalizing. So what's interesting is the greens, the cucumbers, celery, collard greens, spinach, it gives your body the vitamins and nutrients to neutralize the metabolic acids that come from digesting protein and carbs and those things. So you're giving your body what it needs to easily neutralize those things and remove them from the body through urination and defecation, because most people don't get those things.
Oh yeah, that's true. I went to the bathroom several times just to pee every time, but it was worth it because it was cleaning your system, and that's what I needed. And when I was working out, everything was going great, and that's when I started to drink. I was like temptation. I met a new friend, and I think she was just like pressuring me to drink all the time. And I stopped drinking. I didn't drink once I detoxed and went to the gym. I was in a healthy diet. I was good. My body was fine. I woke up early, went to the gym. I was perfectly fine. And then I started to drink. I started to break out. So I knew that I couldn't do alcohol anymore. So I started to break out. My face started to get bad. Then I started to eat heavily once the semester came in, and I felt so lazy and I felt horrible. Then I said to myself, I need to change that, especially with this competition that's coming up. I need to be well again. So I went back into my detox a couple months ago, been detoxing, and I'm eating healthier, salmon, salads. Sometimes I break out, but it's because of like that time of the month, but I've been doing great after drinking those drinks. I recommend it to my mom because one thing is she has a lot of bloating, and the drink for me, when I drink it, it helps with the bloating. It helps you not feel heavy and like dirty in the inside, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your body uses fat to bind up toxins. And so the way I look at it is fat really is toxin storage. And what's interesting is when you're deficient in omega-3, 6, and 9 essential fatty acids, the outside layer of the red blood cells is all made up of that. And so if you're deficient in essential fatty acids, and you can also see this on dark field microscopy, is the red blood cells all like stick to each other and like these big, almost looks like little log jams. And so when you're trying, they're trying to go into those little tiny capillaries, and you got a big log jam because they're all kind of stuck together. It's not able to move the nutrients and the oxygen to those parts of the body where it needs to be.